JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 15th of March 2022. So yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Tuesday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, as always, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website, and specifically our JFD research page, which is also updated on a daily basis. So yep, check us out here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top. So now then, guys, jumping into the charts. So quick update on Nikkei, what's happening here. So the index today closed fractionally in the positive territory. It's kind of managed to hold on here, unlike its Chinese counterparts. I'll get to those in a bit, but yeah, looking at this picture here, I mean, at the moment I'm just observing this one. I'm not doing much because what I need here, as I said before, I need to see a drop below the 24,682 territory first before, let's say, going for lower levels. And for the upside, I would need to see a break of this downside line first. Shanghai Composite, guys, very quickly on that one. Boom. There we go. I mean, what a huge decline here. Minus around 5%, almost minus 5%. This, I mean, this is just kind of, yeah, looking bad for this index. However, from the technical perspective, I mean, I talked about this idea. I said that wait for a drop below this hurdle, below that 3,152 territory right there. That's basically the high of the 3rd of July here, and yeah, you can see here what happened. It drifted lower. It not only stayed below this hurdle, but also it fell all the way towards that 3,074 territory. That was my next target that I was aiming for. This is the highest point of March of 2020. So we managed to reach that. Now the big question here is, can we see maybe a bit of a rebound here of some sort? If we don't, then if it continues to slide, then my next target is around here, near this near the high of the 9th of June of 2020, near around the 2,957 level right there. So long story short, for now, yes, overall I remain bearish, but again, maybe a bit of a retracement here back to the upside could be possible. And one thing I need to do here is get rid of these lines here, because at the moment no longer valid. I mean, yesterday I talked about that idea. Maybe it could be forming a possible a triangle or a pennant basically, but again it ignored that. So we can scrap that idea and we can start fresh. Now what I'm going to be keeping an eye on here is, of course, this hurdle. Although we broke and stayed below it, I want to see how its next trading session will start, because if it somehow climbs back above this area, well, that might maybe be a bit of a refuge here for the buyers. Maybe just going for a little corrective move higher here, maybe testing this 3,152 territory from underneath, and then if it holds, another slide could be possible. So in other words, if we're looking for an area here, so now the next, or I would say the next highlighted area, so this is the area that I'm going to be keeping a close eye on. And yeah, looking at this picture here, looking at this area, if it holds, if it holds, yes, I mean we could see a nice rebound. But if it starts pushing back above towards this hurdle right here, then it will be interesting to see if we can if this area can now act as a good resistance barrier. So again, there's a lot of ifs here. I would say the first thing to start here is to keep an eye on this 3,100 and 3,074 territory. If we rebound from it, then I'll aim for that 3,152 level, and then I'll take it from there. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index so also drifted heavily to the downside, and as I said before, as long as it stays below the steep downside resistance line taken from the high of the 17th of February, we will continue aiming lower. So we've managed to, what I said before as well was that if we drop below this hurdle, below this 20,100 zone, then yes, my next target will be this 19,595 level, approximately around here, which kind of marks here the lowest point of May of 2016. But what I was saying then, if you remember yesterday, I talked about this little level here, the lowest point of February of 2016, or in other words, the lowest point of 2016. Yep, it managed to reach that area, this 18,279 zone. So we managed to kind of reach that area here, and now the big question here is, can we see maybe a bit of a rebound? So like I said, this is what I'm keeping an eye on, the Shanghai Composite and also the Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index. We did move quite a bit here from this downside line, so maybe a bit of a retracement could be possible. However, guys, I mean, we are at very difficult times right now, so in a way, if this area fails to hold, if this lowest point of February of 2016 or the lowest point of 2016 fails to hold, my next target here will be the lowest point of October of 2011, and that's roughly around that 16,170 zone. So keep that in mind, guys. Now, jumping into DAX. Oh, by the way, yep, good morning to everybody here who's joining in. I can see in the chat room here, yep, okay, ZHHHBB, yep, good morning to you too, and Evu, of course, yep, good morning to you too as well, and as I said, good morning to everybody else who is joining in right now. So, I hope you're having a wonderful, start of the day. Now, coming back to the indices here, German index DAX. So probably need to adjust here a few things. Certainly the fact that we saw a huge decline here in the Asian or the Chinese indices might kind of spill over into this negativity might spill over into the European session, and then maybe, just maybe, into the US later on. But again, let's not rush into anything. Again, what I said to you previously when I was covering DAX, I said that if we break this downside line, yes, I will start aiming higher, but my target here will be this 14,400 zone. But the problem here might be with the 21-day EMA, which, as you can see, yesterday act as a fantastic area of resistance. Now, the cash index is currently sitting at around 13,784.85 zone. So that's below yesterday's close. So we're kind of somewhere around here near the lows of yesterday. The big question here is, can we see a push above that 21-day EMA? If we eventually can do that, then yes, I'll aim for that test of that 23.6% retracement on the Fibonacci that I talked about previously from underneath. So I'll aim for that test here. But if we continue to struggle to overcome that 21-day EMA, maybe a bit of a retracement back down here could be possible. And this is the point where probably I need to get rid of this downside line, no longer needed. Now what I'm going to stick to is some of the levels. And to be honest, looking at all this, let me just actually remove everything, I think, because this is getting way too crowded here. So let's have maybe a bit of a fresh look. Still, I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna stick to that 23.6% retracement on the Fibonacci idea. So that was roughly somewhere around here, I believe. So yeah, just and near this area. So this is what I'm gonna stick to. If we do pop above the 21-day EMA. However, if this 21-day EMA continues to hold and we see the index falling back somewhere below this 13,215 territory, guys, then well, I mean, maybe we're not really ready for a move back to the upside. So keep that in mind. For now, like I said, I'm keeping an eye on this 13,215 zone for the downside, but for the upside, given that we're still near this area, near that 21-day EMA. So I would like to see a break of that 21-day EMA in order to go for some higher levels. So keep that in mind, guys. Now the FTSE 100, also similar story as with the German index DAX. However, the negativity from the Chinese market kind of spilled over into the cash indices here in Europe, and some US ones as well. But of course, let's wait and see. I mean, this is just beginning of the trading session here in Europe. I mean, we're not far from the opening time right now, but looking at this picture here, I mean, look at this perfect test of this upside line here. Taken from the low of the 1st of December of 2020, guys. So in a way, what I said previously, that we might see that retracement, but if, let's say, for example, if it struggles to overcome this, come back above this upside line or this 200-day EMA, then, well, another slide could be possible, and so far we are getting that. So this upside line together with the 200-day EMA are currently still providing that resistance. I mean, currently the cash index is trading at around 7,090 zone, so well below, by almost 100 points below where it closed yesterday. So I mean, this is of course raising a few concerns here. I mean, if you're looking for some downside, for me, probably I would start aiming lower if we see a drop below that 7,066 level right here, marked by the low of the 10th of March. If we drop below that, then yes, slowly I'll aim lower. We do have this inside swing low here, where after a break of which everything kind of turned here to the upside. The 7,013 zone, of course, slightly below that, we do have that psychological 7,000 mark. But if that gets cleared, well, guys, I mean, welcome to some lower levels again. At the moment, I'm watching this whole territory here. It's very interesting. This upside line together with the 200-day EMA, if it all provides good resistance, yep, another. And so far, I mean, it is providing good resistance. And I would say if it continues to trade below it, then there's a chance for this one to drift lower. But especially if it drops back below this 7,066 territory right there. For the upside, I would need to see maybe not only a push back above this upside line and the 200-day EMA, but also push above the 7,260 zone, which is basically the high of last week, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, that's the highest point of last week. And if we do pop above it, then yes, potentially more buyers could join in. Now the S&P 500. So yesterday it drifted lower. Initially tried to make its way higher, but the S&P was one of those indices that kind of closed in the red. I mean, Dow was actually Dow remained flat, to be honest. Gained a point, but percentage-wise, I mean, that's just kind of nothing. So yeah, so basically Nasdaq was the biggest loser yesterday, and yeah, it declined kind of, it lost around 2%. Dow was kind of flat, and the S&P lost around 0.74%. So it drifted lower, but as you can see here, it managed to stay above this hurdle, this this current lowest point of March near the 4,100, and let me just zoom in here a little bit, 4,157 territory, 58 zone, something like that. However, the cash index is seen now drifting below this. So basically, this is already going kind of, I wouldn't say for a lower low yet. For a lower low, we would need to see a drop below this 4,114.15 zone here, which is the lowest point of February, and then yes, lower levels could be met. But at the moment, guys, at the moment, looking at this picture here, it is quite interesting. Some of you probably will look at this as a possible maybe a descending triangle pattern here, where if we do draw this highlighted area right here, maybe then yes, this could be seen as a possible descending triangle. Not a pretty one, to be honest, but again, could be the case. Of course, according to all the TA rules, these tend to break to the downside, but a confirmation break is still needed. So in other words, long story short, guys, a current drop below this 4,158 zone is opening the door towards lower levels. But yeah, at the moment here, we are keeping an eye on this 4,115 zone here, and if that gets cleared, then this will confirm a forthcoming lower low, and potentially more sellers could join in. So keep that in mind. The 4,056, 57 territory is my next target. That's the lowest point of May of 2021. Dollar index, DXY. So we stalled near this highest point of March, the current highest point of March, near the 99.42 level. As I said before, I'm still kind of cautiously bullish, but I need to see that a strong move above this barrier, and then I'll aim for that psychological 100 level or even above that. At the moment, I'm just observing this one. Of course, we can start drawing a bunch of trend lines here. For example, some tentative lines here. So, for example, like this one. But to be honest, I mean, what could happen here is, of course, it could start moving sideways here for a while, just, you know, doing nothing. Eventually, it might kind of end up testing maybe the 21-day EMA. So by the time, let's say, it comes higher a little here, a little bit, it tests the 21-day EMA. And then if it rebounds from this 21-day EMA, then yeah, that's where more buyers could join in. But more buyers, I'm still thinking that more buyers could join in on a break here of this 99.42 level. Now jumping into gold very quickly. So gold had a good move to the downside. We broke this upside line taken from the low the 3rd of February, and in a way, yeah, everything's kind of looking not very good here. However, I'm very curious to see what's going to happen with that 21-day EMA, because at the moment we're seeing a bit of a corrective move higher. So yes, we broke this upside line. Yes, we dropped below this 1950 level. Now the last kind of resort here for the bulls is to see if we can maybe get some sort of a rebound here from this 21-day EMA. But of course, that's big if still for now. We need to see if it stays below this or not. If it does, then well, I mean, further declines could be possible, guys. But if it doesn't somehow, maybe actually this will ignore all the, this upside line or this, this hurdle. Maybe we could see a bit of a retracement here to the upside. But at the moment, I'm gonna keep this on for like this. I'll keep an eye on it, and like I said, it's at the moment I'm still leaning cautiously to the downside, but I'm very careful. I'm going to be very careful with this 21-day EMA, because basically, if we look at it this way, we had a good move, to the upside here recently. Okay, so that's all fine. Now we got our retracement, and by the way, just to if we apply Fibonacci, how much did we retrace here? There we go. Boom, 50% exactly. Look at this beautiful move here. So 50% we did retrace from this, this kind of up move from the end of January throughout the whole of February here. Now the question, like I said, can we maybe see a bit of a retracement? So this is where maybe this, this upside line might no longer be valid. But I'll remove that one tomorrow. I'll see how it plays out. But at the moment, yes, we might see maybe a bit of a retracement here if, like I said, if this 50% area continues to hold. But then, like I said, the question will be, if we do see a bit of a retracement, will we stay above that 21-day EMA? If we do, maybe we could see a bit of a higher retracement here, so yeah, let's not rush into anything for now. Let's be very careful with gold, because although gold might present a lot of interesting opportunities here, still we are dealing with difficult times right now, so be very careful with that. Excuse me. Now jumping into WTI oil. So look at this. I mean, retraced the 23.6%, on the Fibonacci here. As I talked about this yesterday, but we dropped a little bit lower below that. But in a way, I would say mission accomplished. I will remove this Fibonacci. So now what I'm going to do here is, and this is what I've drawn here previously. So we do have a kind of this upside line here. Now we are getting very close to it, so it's somewhere around here. We're getting very close to it, yeah, the big question here is, can we see a bit of a rebound? Well, to be honest, this is what I'm looking forward to, and I want to see if we can actually hold near this upside line taken from the low the 2nd of December. If we do, we could see WTI oil rebounding nicely here, maybe even traveling back above that 21-day EMA. If it breaks and stays below this hurdle, then yes, I'll aim for that 100-day EMA, and then I'll take it from there. Ethereum, very quickly on that one, still not much excitement, I would say. So we're just observing this one, and yeah, if we want to see maybe lower levels on this one, then a drop below that 2,479 territory would be needed here. Until then, I'm just observing this. I mean, this could be seen as a nice maybe descending triangle here, but again, it's not as clear. I mean, and I would, like I said, I would prefer to. I would prefer to wait for a more clear option here, and yeah, and then kind of do something about it. At the moment, I'm just watching this one, but yeah, as I said, it could be seen as a descending triangle, which, according to all the TA rules, tends to break to the downside, but a confirmation break is still needed. So, if you want, I can just put this one right here, this idea right here. There we go. And there we go. So, jumping into a few pairs, guys, very quickly. AUD, NZD. We dropped and stayed below this highlighted territory. I talked about this a lot already, so we kind of stayed below that lower side of the range. We did get a bit of a retracement, but as you can see here, yeah, so far, I mean, it's looking more bearish than bullish, and especially, like I said, if it falls below the low, the 31st of January of this year, near the 1.0643 level right here, then yes, I'll aim for the 100-day EMA initially, and then maybe the 200-day EMA as well. So pretty straightforward, to be honest here. So I'm watching, I'm keeping an eye on these levels. So, but as I said, we managed to break this. I mean, some of you probably were seeing this as maybe a double top pattern here, with the neckline being somewhere in this area. Well, we've broken that as well. So it's either a range or a double top. So yeah, we managed to break the lower side of this, of the range, and the lower, we managed to break the so-called neckline. So let's see if we can drift a little bit more to the downside. NZD USD. Also, what I'm keeping an eye on here is this upside line. I talked about NZD USD a while ago, and basically, I said that this is the barrier that I'm keeping a close eye on, the 0.6860 zone, and the 200-day EMA. So we needed to see a break of that area in order to go for some higher levels, and I would also needed to see a body of the daily candle staying above that hurdle and above that 200-day EMA. Well, we didn't get that. We only had some false breakouts here, and instead we started drifting back down. So we're now testing or shall I say, we were very close to testing this upside line taken from the low, the 28th of January. If it holds, then yep, a nice rebound could be possible. Either way, guys, I'm still looking for a move above this hurdle first. USD CHF very quickly on that one, and we finally, boom, managed to break the upper side of the range and stay above it. So in other words, guys, I mean, I talked a lot about this, and we're now seeing a bit of a retracement, which is quite normal. And I would say if it continues to trade this week above this hurdle, above this 0.9368, then yes, I will go for some higher levels. If it somehow falls back below this this upper side of the range and falls below, somewhere below this 0.9343 level right here, marked by the highest point of January of this year, then yes, we'll consider a bit of a retracement back down. GBP CHF also looking quite interesting. I mean, look at this rebound from this key support zone near the lowest point of December, so near that 1.2120 zone, or I would say even actually 1.2121 zone. Beautiful number here. So we managed to rebound. We managed to break the steep downside line. We can get rid of it now. We're traveling a little bit higher here. However, I'm going to be very careful for now because we are approaching quite a key support area, key resistance area here, which is marked by the inside swing low of the 24th of January near the 1.2280. Also around here we could test the 21-day EMA shown as the yellow line. So if all that provides good resistance, another decline could be possible. But if we break this area, then I'll aim for a larger correction here, a larger correction to the upside. GBP Aussie very quickly on that. So yesterday I talked about this as well, and we managed to break this this kind of upper side of the potential triangle that I was talking about. So we can get rid of this. My big question right now is, can this highlighted territory still, provide resistance today? Because although we are breaking this right now, we are jumping nicely above it. Can we stay above this area today? If we can, then yes, I'll go for a larger correction to the upside. And again, with my favorite Fibonacci levels, I mean, we have managed to confirm kind of a retracement of 23.6% here on the Fibonacci yesterday. Now it seems like we're aiming for that 38.2%, which is not far actually from that 21-day EMA. So in other words, if we do stay above this highlighted territory, my next target is this 1.83 territory, somewhere around here, which could be like, and we could also test the 21-day EMA. So let's keep an eye on this one. It might not travel there if it doesn't stay above this highlighted territory. Euro CHF, also quite an interesting one. I do have a lot of CHF here today, but basically we've managed to climb back above this key hurdle here, key resistance area, or I would say we're testing it right now. And if we eventually stay above it, then yes, I will go for some higher levels. If we don't, then well, that's the problem here. I mean, we might see a drift back to the downside. However, at the moment everything is kind of shaping up a little bit more positively because, well, we are also breaking this downside line. So let's keep an eye on that one. And finally, EURUSD, guys. So yeah, we're seeing a nice little retracement here also, and we're testing that psychological 110 territory. I spoke about that level, and let me just also mark this for our future reference. So this is what I'm keeping an eye on here right now. So yes, if we climb above it and stay above it, I'm not saying that this is where all the positivity could come in right now suddenly. No, it's just a psychological level that I'm keeping an eye on. Still, for me to go for some higher levels, I would need to see a push above this area here, and then yeah, we could go higher. For the downside, I would need to see a drop below this 1.0806 territory right here, marked by the lowest point of March, the current lowest point of March, and then yeah, we could go for a move lower. So guys, that's it for this session. I really hope you found it useful, and thank you very much for watching and listening. I really appreciate your time, guys. Thank you very much for all your views, your likes, your comments. I really appreciate that a lot. So if you want to catch me tomorrow morning, as always, at my Traders Espresso, that's 7 o'clock GMT time. For now, have a wonderful trading day. Stay safe, have your stop losses in place, and everything will be fine. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.